Ryan Collier and Jonathan Healy. And it'll be Saracens to get us going. Zoe Harrison with a couple of bounces of the ball.
Time's on.
And we are off and running. Round 9 of the Allianz Premier 15s. Bristol and Saracens looking to really kick-start their season this afternoon in the West Country. Well taken by Pam on that half-century. Bristol looking to run it immediately from their 22. That's gone backwards from Snowsill.
Don't shout.
Reed now down the blind side, still looking to play the ball. A feature of Bears playing, they've won it really well. Here's Lovibond down the wing, does well, steps one, steps another. Brilliant from the Bears wing, and now Sarah Byrne, the prop in support.
What's that? No, all fine.
Bevan off the floor. Snowsill standing a bit deeper, saw the rush defence coming up, so kept hold of the ball wisely.
Tackle!
Bright opening exchanges here from Bristol. Anita Marston with the first carry of the afternoon. Expect to see lots of those hard yards from the Bears number 8. Snowsill to Reed. Out to this near side. Here is White. 5 tries already for the campaign for the Bears flyer. Now the hard carry. Holly Phillips under the jumper. Byrne finding herself in the centres. Murray looking to try and find some space around the outside. The darting work of the backs.
No.
Brilliantly doing the work to get over the gain line, and then knocked on by Delaney Burns. Saris with the advantage. First time with their hands on the ball.
Advantage over.
Zoe Harrison looks to clear it. Here is Keat looking to try and run the ball back. Clever offload out to Marston.
Move! Pause that.
Bevan looked to keep up this pace, and Bristol really started well. Reed. Little shimmy, seeing that Infante was up on her. England hooker Lara Davis with her first carry. Just over 2 minutes and we're still playing.
Hey, off!
See Bristol keen to play quickly. Don't want this Saracens defence to settle, and they look to try and spread it wide now.
Stay.
Bevan. Marston. Already a couple of carries, but this time forced backwards. That rush defence from Saracens. Ali Packer into the action there, just half sensed an opportunity to get the jackal, but left it. Reed did well with one big right paw to keep the ball ripped out of the tackle from Lottie Clapp, and finally Cat Merchant. We have a stop, and the play that seems to never end.
Wow, some amazing phases of play there. I love that Bristol are really looking to move that ball. They do have strike players in the middle, but when you've got the pace of players like Lovibond and White out wide, why not utilise it? It's really taking its toll on the Saris defence as well, making them work super hard, but great running, good handoff, and it's the support. It was Byrne here to be able to get to Lovibond, to your prop to be tracking down your wing to have an offload. Fair play.
Former back row, of course, Sarah Byrne, converted into the front row. Let's have a look at Bristol's recent results. A mixed bag for them as we go down for the first scrum that's reset.
Get the balance right. 18 straight away.
That last nilling at Sandy Park, but wins here at home against both Sharks, DMP and Sale. A tight game against Loughborough that we broadcast early in the season. A big win against Wasps. At this, the first test, really one of the bigger players in the league, and this is Saracens' start to the campaign. 4 wins for them as well. Big win over Worcester Warriors last week at the StoneX Stadium. Looking to try and capitalise on that. Good first scrum from the Bears. Great drive, and up goes the Saracens front row. Held for Bevan. Snowsill back inside to Reed. The wraparound move. Snowsill tries to spread it out to Keat. This is good work from the Bears. Out towards the far side is Lovibond stepping in.
Onside.
Placed quickly, and Bevan fancies a dart down the blind side. Good work from the Wales number 9. However, right over the top is Sydney Gregson there. Good defensive work from the outside centre, and that a key moment just as the Bears look to be getting in their stride.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do when you go out wide defensively, if you can manage to get over that ball, it is isolated. But starts with a fantastic scrum from Bristol, really making sure that they keep their own ball. And then the wraparound play as well was so nice to see. It looked almost unopposed, the way they have so much time on the ball. So it's the initial switch play. Amber Reed, that's a really difficult skill to be able to do. You're running in, you manage to then set out, and then the handling to get it out wide. Really excellent skill set.
First line out of the day. That ball has made its way to Poppy Cleal. First carry for her. Harrison, boot to ball. The outside of the ball, so that's gone back into the centre of the pitch. Bevan, always seemed measured under that high kick. Reed, the acting number 9. Marston trundling it forward. A couple of players to bring her down. McKenna and Gregson, the two centres for Saracens today. Delaney Burns with one through the legs.
No!
Kira Bevan is off with a quick tap, running directly towards the white shirts of Saracens. Not rolling away immediately from the referee. Been hot on the breakdown so far. Saracens have won a turnover penalty in the Jackal, but this time Alex Thomas saying, as he can hear, it's not preventing a defensive picture that he wanted to see.
That's something Kira Bevan does really nicely there. She spots actually that Saracens aren't quite back 10, so she can just tap, get herself some extra distance in there. And then second penalty obviously comes. Saracens starting to be under pressure with their discipline, and now Bristol in a really good position just outside the 22 to rely on their set piece.
Clark Davis, all of her forwards to aim for. Burns is the taker towards the back pod. Marston fancies a dart straight off to Reed. Marley Packer goes in low, holds on. Bevan scraping across right on that gain line, but really bright, the Bears number 9. Davis is the distributor now. Snowsill space out wide here for the Bears if they can work it. Gives it to Keats. Corinne Grant there with the tackle. Byrne rides the first challenge, still going. Georgia Evans wrestles her to the floor. Good little dart there by Phillips. Again, it's quick for the Bears. Snowsill to Reed. They've combined really well. Murray coming in. Does well to just ride the tackle, then the offload to White.
Okay, step. I'm going there.
Hard carry from Delaney Burns, a 22-year-old lock there. Bevan, Malloy, first time we've seen ball in hand. A good hit from Campbell. Snowsill working out wide as the Bears. Keep out to Lovibon. The drift defence from Sarries doing just enough there. Bevan, the dummy. Now Marston trying to break down this white wall. Really relentless, high-tempo rugby at the moment from Dave Ward's Bristol Bears, but this time over the top. Saracens prop Kelsey Clifford getting a really good position, getting her hands on the ball. And it's almost credit to both sides there, Kat, because Bristol really throwing it around, tempo in the play, but Saracens doing just enough, almost at the right moment, picking the time to go over for the Jackal. Yeah, they got their drift defence spot on to be able to get across out wide and cover, and a great spot from Clifford there, that it was slightly isolated in the play, so to get over and on it was brilliant, and a good decision there.
Okay, sorry,
good crowd in here at Shaftesbury Park.
In the cup, come on.
Main stand pretty full up, and scattered fans around the outside as well.
Backwards.
Ball goes to ground and has gone backwards. Poppy Cleal takes it up. A couple of tries last week against Worcester, but bit of a mistake on the ground, and frustration for Saracens really as we approach the first 10 minutes of the game. Barely seen any of Saracens so far.
Yeah, they've not had much ball. When they have had it, they put a big kick in, so they've not had much play, so they will be really frustrated from that. Good initial carry from Cleo. She then tries to keep the ball alive, offloads it. Both teams have actually done that a bit, we've seen. So instead of going to floor, instead of letting the ruck form, they're trying to play a really fast game. They're keeping the ball alive. What that does do, though, is it can cause little knock-ons, small errors. It's a slightly higher risk game, but credit to both sides for trying. Actually do love to see the offloads.
Overcast grey afternoon, expected to stay like this all day in Bristol. 4 or 5 degrees, bit chilly, but no real wind kicking about the place. So this pace you've seen on the ball is throwing it around a Bristol side who do like to run it. Very decent conditions to continue how they've been playing.
When you've got Reed and Murray in the centres, who sorry, at 10-12, when they are so strong and they are big, hard carriers, it makes the defence not able to drift. You have to guard those in the centre positions. So then when we also got pace out wide, it's a really nice balance for them as a back line.
Just saw those possession stats there. You can see how much Bristol are dominating. 89% of the ball so far. Sarries have barely had a sniff. Another great Bristol scrum. They're driving this. Sarries 8 back. Marley Packer trying to respond, but it's a penalty advantage. Marston guiding it forward. Bevan. Free play here for the Bears. What can they work? Referee, as you can hear, just saying, let's have a look. Grace White trying to get herself around. Lottie Clapp does well to beat Clapp. Still going and drives the legs on the floor. Good work by the Bears winger. Just checking to see where we're going with this Bears attacking play. A couple of phases, off back we go.
I really like that from the referee as well, though. So often when it's gone, the ball's gone to ground or it goes back slightly, the penalty's over and they call it back. But actually, when you do have the pace and the try-scoring ability of Grace White out wide, let's see what she can do, because she did fantastically in that contact. Because Lottie Clapp's a really good defender, so to manage to push her off, roll, and fight her way forward, she did really well there.
Shot of another bear there in the crowd, one of the mascots around today. Making a good bit of noise when Bristol get into their stride, this crowd. And this, an excellent attacking platform. 10 or 12 metres out. And we've seen this in the game here against Loughborough Lightning. Last time we were broadcasting this Bears Maul. Something to be reckoned with. Taken by Bryony King at the back. Saracens immediately trying to put numbers into this driving maul. In come those blue shirts of the Bears, trying to get some momentum, and it is driving. Lark Davis with her hands on the ball. 5 tries already for the Bears. 1 stop for Bristol, still going forward, rumbling forward. Great drive from the Bears, just short, the ball goes down. Advantage on the play, Marston stretches. Great drive from the Bears, number 8, and they have the opening score. Referee is going to go to the sin bin as well. Poppy Cleal will spend 10 minutes off the field, but this dominance, this pressure from the Bears, they've been all over Saracens in the opening 12 and a half minutes, and Renita Marston with her 2nd try of the campaign.
Absolutely relentless, but also composed as well. So a lovely kick to the corner, so they are only 5 metres out. Lark Davies has got the arrows today, as always, and it goes forward. Referee calls it, says stop once. They manage to pick off, and then from Marston here, this is really clever. So she's carrying, she manages to twist. You think she's going to keep that ball in, but to actually control it, one arm, outreach, slightly wider as well. That meant there was a slightly bigger gap between the defenders. That's a really tough finish as well. So she's done really well there.
And Marie just missing the conversion. Not sure if you heard the groin. The groin? The groan, sorry. Definitely very much a groan from the crowd, not a groin.
But Poppy Cleal in the sin bin, this is going to be a tough ask now, because Saracens has not had much of the ball. Bristol have been very relentless in terms of their possession and their phases of play. So now to have a player down as well, this could be a tough 10 minutes for Saracens.
As we're hearing before the game, Bristol never beaten Saracens in the Premier 15 era. They did win at the Stone X in the Cup competition while the Rugby World Cup was going on. As we had another look at this try, just looked short. Renita Marston, great work from the number 8, just the quickness of the play and then the ability to see the line and stretch. Opening score for the Bears. Down to 14, the champions. Poppy Cleal is off. Barely touched the ball. Some work to do here for the North London outfit.
Okay, timing.
Really interesting game here last season. Saracens a 30-26 win. There was two close games actually, 17-12 at the StoneX Stadium. That's a good tackle from Clapp coming through. Murray straight off the floor. And then the offload as well. Keep trying to run it out. Here is White down the right wing. You can tell the instruction from Dave Ward and the Bears coaching staff, it's offloads. It's looking to play the game quickly. They're really flying at this Saracens defence, who are struggling to deal with it. And another run here. Malloy out to the far side.
No. He's in line.
You'll be completely unsurprised to hear, and watching the opening 14 minutes, that Bristol are the side who run it most in the Premier 15s outside their 22.
Take it back.
Jess Breach with her hands on the ball, under the high ball. Leanne Infante not happy with the referee's call there.
Here come Bristol. Tell them off your scrum. Take your time. You okay?
Yeah, I just wanted to get from the ball.
Are you okay? Okay. Sorry, my fault.
I'm unsure about that phase of play there, because whilst I really like, if you can play it out your 22, absolutely do it, get wide. But actually, Lottie Clapp had read it really well. She came up, defended it. So that for me is then right. Let's exit. Let's play. Saracens are down to 14. We can play this, play the territory. They've got a good defence. They actually ended up putting quite a lot of pressure on themselves on the kick, and now Sarries have the scrum 10 metres on the 10-metre line. So whilst I love a team that plays and is a bit loose and tries things and offloads, there are areas in the pitch they've just scored. Maybe then was the time to just settle and get out of there.
No.
Georgia Evans just receiving a bit of treatment here for Saracens. The initial stoppage was, referee thought Claire Malloy possibly had a head injury, which is making her way back up.
Okay, let's go. Scrum. I thought it was a head injury. My fault. Scrum line.
Referee there just confirming
Here we go.
what he thought had happened. Saracens will have the put in with a player less.
Comes to back down, yeah.
And Corinne Grant is going to get a bit of a dabble at blindside flanker. Marley Packer just guiding her through where she's got to find there, telling her.
Guided is a nice word. Being forced into where she needs to go.
Giving her very forceful instructions as Corinne Grant
Direct.
packs down with the Saracens pack. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the Saracens winger, but the Bears forwards drive them back. They do keep the ball. Harrison to the line, looking to try and float it. Brilliant from Jess Breach. Great line from the fullback, striding away. Fantastic. Jess Breach with a superb score. 14 players for Saracens. Her third try for her new side. And the Harrison-Breach best friend combination combining in the middle of the park. Fantastic response from Sarries.
And that's exactly how you use a really, really rapid fullback like Jess Breach. You have to get the ball in her hands, you have to do it early. So really nice link play here, dummy lines all over the place, and then a lovely straight line, and no one is going to catch her from there. You can see how relaxed her running style is. Beautiful line, created from the dummies as well though. You have to look at that, the players that actually put the effort in to run it in and create this nice little half gap, because she still had to bosh her way through and then just glided in from there.
Already Howland's left in the yellows, you know.
Settling into life at the StoneX Stadium. A switch across London, Jess Breach. Very decent start to her career.
Howland's left in the yellow. I'm okay for water.
It's Harrison's first effort of the afternoon. Right through the middle. We were right behind that kick from Zoe Harrison, despite the 14 players, despite barely being in the Bristol half with ball in hand. Saracens have a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, they were given the opportunity, I feel. Bristol handed them that, really. I feel they were in control, could have kept possession, or at least have kicked it deeper out, played the phases a few more times. But Sarries given the opportunity. They've got strike runners, they used it, and it was a lovely move, training park move that they've applied very well.
How many times have we seen that from Jess Breach, where she runs past the try line and there's just no one near her? Her pace, her out-and-out raw pace, pretty much unrivaled in this league.
There's your mark. There's about 4 left from the yellow.
Mark Davis lining another one up. The Bristol line out running at 80% across the season. Of course, not all of Lark Davis that, and Another one lost there. She, along with the other Red Roses and World Cup players, coming in sort of round 3 and 4.
Okay.
Now we're beginning to get back to the patterns of play, how their clubs want to play. Now Saracens look to try and work it from deep. Gregson there. Breach helps it on. Here is Grant, the Scotland international. Packer. Haven't seen too much of her in those. What a hit that is from Simi Pam, lining up Marley Packer, who, credit to her, rode it well. First time we've really seen Saracens with ball in hand and really just go through a couple of phases. Infante finds Harrison deep. That England 9-10 combination, that's disappointing there from Courtney Keat, just running across, hands low. I think she maybe lost the flight of the ball.
It's a nice nudge though from Harrison. You could see how composed she was when they're playing. So they'd gone one way, they'd brought it back up. She'd got herself deep in the pocket, potentially looking to, it was in her own half, wasn't it? So potentially looking at a 50-22 there, but they now get the scrum. So we saw what they did last time they had a scrum around this area. So Bristol going to have some conversations, maybe pull themselves in a little bit tighter to make sure that they can cover the threats through the middle.
Poppy Cleal itching to get back on here at Shaftesbury Park. It's been an engaging opening 20 minutes of this round 9 fixture in the Premier 15s. Packer off the back of the scrum. Infante. Harrison looking to try and go the wrap around this time, but Gregson takes it into contact.
9-6, no, she's first. She's on the body.
Slower ball for Saracens. Packer with the pick and go around the fringes. Louise McMillan. Impressive lock in the engine room of Saracens. They've worked a bit of space. Here's some Lottie Clapp on the outside. Big handoff from the Saracens co-captain. Stretches for the line, and they have a second. Well, the champions in clinical mode here. A couple of half chances and have come away with 2 tries. Great score from Lottie Clapp. She goes over for her 4th of the season.
That was a really good finish. She was given half a gap and boy did she take it. So really good play. Jess Breach, you might think she runs herself. She passes it across. The initial first handoff was fantastic, but then the ability when you've got yourself going forward and that pace to be able to stop, check and get that step back inside, that's even more impressive. So almost from dead, transfers the ball, handoff across, beating 3 players there. That is a fantastic finish.
Great score from Lottie Clapp. Takes her to 49 tries in the Premier 15s era. One of the most prolific scorers out there. Harrison with her second kick. Definitely had the power on that kick, Harrison, but he just went slightly across it. 12-5 lead. And well, despite having Poppy Cleal in the bin for 10 minutes, this has been a really, really impressive response from Alex Otterbury's team.
And that's sometimes what happens with teams. They rally together when there is a player off, but just looking at that clap from another angle, to be able to, that second one, that footwork in and ball transfer, I'm obsessed with it, but it does mean it allows you to have a handoff. It gets the ball away from the tackler. Really, so slick, you didn't even see it happening. Great finish.
Lottie Clapp, 11 caps for England, but changed allegiances to the United States, featured in the World Cup on the wing. It's been brilliant Packer carry there through the line, driving the legs, still going, all energy, all power. The Saracens open side. Zoe Harrison, great nudge from the Sarries number 10. I remember last season Simon Middleton at one point describing her as the best kicking fly half in the world. Well, this opening 22 minutes, she's been excellent from the boot.
Really good. And again, just nice and composed. They play out of their 22 in that way. Marley Packer carried so hard there. She had about 3 players trailing off her. She's still leg driving. Then it goes back to Harrison, kicks it, makes sure it stays in because they've carried outside of their 22 and then bounces out. Very clinical.
Delaney Burns, the pod straight up, back to Lark Davis down the blind side, trying to find Sarah Byrne, wrestles the ball to the ground. Bevan smashed by Infante. Great read from the England scrum half. Snowsill in as the protecting half-back. And she is in again. Pam helps it on. Bears just need to regather themselves. They really dominated the opening 15 minutes. They were playing at a pace that Saracens were struggling to deal with. They got their try. Find themselves 7 points behind. Still looking to run it. Here is Malloy in the centres. Again, a player that just brings so much energy when she has her hands on the ball. Murray with the drift on the outside. McKenna unable to hold. Clapp does the extra tackle. Good counter up there from Sarah McKenna, just disrupting the quickness of that ball. Bryony King, former Gloucester Hartbury player, spell in Wales Rugby League, inside and out from Bevan and White. That was clever, but Saracens dealing with it. Snowsill into the middle. It's Byrne, great line from the England prop. Did well to pick it up, and still going Sarah Byrne.
Release that, thank you.
This is better from the Bears. Bevan sees a bit of space, the chip and chase, so close to gathering. Slightly lost there. What to do was Fee McIntosh. Any good second row. Ball under the arm and away you go. Harrison spotting some space in behind, just dissecting Keats and Whites, and they have to turn with the bounce of the ball. Clapp trying to drift her defence over as Marley Packer chopping down at the legs. Clapp went high. Lark Davis stealing a metre on the floor with a roll. Reed to Byrne again in that centre position. She's carrying really well and finding gaps and spaces in the Saracens' defence. Such an impressive season, Sarah Byrne, part of the World Rugby Team of the Year last year. Bears forwards appearing all over the pitch. Much slower now. That energy and enthusiasm in the quick play just slightly gone from the Bears. Kick down the throat of Corinne Grant. In the middle to Harrison, clapping her hands, demanding the ball. And then Sarah McKenna having a look up and just taking her eye off it.
Sarah Byrne, you've been mentioning her name a few times over the last few phases, but one of my favourite things in rugby is when you can do a flat pass to somebody at pace, just that slight out to inline, carving through the defence. It's so dangerous, because then they're straight through. She's done it twice in a row there pretty much, so great to have her loitering in the back line when you make lines like that.
An extra centre, an extra carrier, it's just a brilliant weapon for the Bears. Poppy Cleal back on the field, full complement of 15 now for the champions. There's Marley Packer just getting a bit of treatment. And also seeing Mackenzie Carson, the Canadian prop as well, just having a quick chat to the Saracens physios. We spoke to Dave Ward pre-match, didn't we, Kat? And he said, today will be a good game. It is really turning out like that. I think everyone associated with the Bears hugely disappointed with that performance, and obviously the nilling stands out at Exeter. But they've really turned up today so far in this opening half an hour.
The first 10 minutes they came out really blitzed it. They showed their intent to play offloading. Saris have matched that, and they've really upped their game as well. But if this is the first 25 minutes, we've got a great game ahead of us.
Let's go, all fucking Exeter. Let's go.
Apologies for any language you heard on the referee's mic there. Marley Packer just trying to get the troops going.
Okay. Please just write it on.
So you need to say really, apologies for any anything you picked up on the rest mic. Marley, there you go, done.
Let's go. Calcium with you, nice and square. Square.
The enthusiasm of the Red Roses and Saracens, number 7. Interesting lineup here for Bristol behind the scrum. Snowsill and White to the right-hand side, and then Amber Reed is really, really far away on the left. But Snowsill now coming round to the line, lurking out there is Keats. Runs straight, places the ball back, the Welsh fullback. Into the line now, Phoebe Murray.
No.
Poppy Cleal coming over the top, leaving the ball, carry from Phillips. Canadian lock taking it up.
No, man, stuck up.
I think we're going back for Poppy Cleal as she went for the jackal. Yes, that's the call from the referee.
I think Marley Packer was trying to get her hands on the ball there. She was over that ball so quickly. She does it so well. She gets low, gets in quick, has the ball. Thought she maybe had the steal, but they were playing advantage from the knock-on, so it comes back.
Now 2 more Saracens players receiving treatment. You can see Georgia Evans in shot there. Out of shot, Mackenzie Carson on the ground as well. Some running repairs for some Saracens forwards.
Well, they were asked to put a big shift in that first 10, the defensive effort that they had to put in when Bristol were going from width to width, so they've been working super hard.
Just a reminder, if you're just joining us, the story so far, Renita Marston giving Bears an early lead, but tries from Jess Breach and Lottie Clapp. Given Saracens, who spent 10 minutes without Poppy Cleal, a 7-point advantage. A shot there of the 2 benches. You can see Abby Ward in the background there. A new cub on the way if you're just joining us as well, announcing pregnancy with husband and head coach Dave Ward. Says she will very much remain part of the Bears setup, training Monday and Thursday, of course without the contact, but always a leader at whatever club she's been at, a leader in the Red Roses as well. A new bear cub on the way in the West Country this year.
You okay?
I love that. Ashley said baby bear earlier, but cub is also pretty cute.
Keeping up with the bear traditions as Mackenzie Carson looks as if she will be exiting the field. Leanne Infante, we just saw in shot there as well, receiving some repairs, so physical game taking its toll. And it looks as if Alex Ellis will be the one replacing the Canadian for Canadian, of course. Part of the Canada Rugby World Cup effort, the 27-year-old. So after all that, the knock-on at the breakdown, back to focusing on what Bears can do. Just to the right of the 5 metre.
Set!
Lovibond stood right behind. Snow still is flat. This Bears pack has done well at scrum time. What they're doing here, it's at the feet of their try scorer Marston. They already have the penalty advantage. Marley Packer coming straight round. Georgia Evans and Poppy Cleal as well, eventually having a go. Bevan fancies a dart down the blind side. Good initial step. May Campbell over the top of the ball. Top tackler in this Saracens team. Over 100 tackles. Just one of 3 players in the league, May Campbell, to hit triple figures so far this season. Really impressive campaign for the Saracens hooker. As another penalty comes though for Snowsill, who has she must have been bumped on the nose. There's some tissue or something up there to stop that.
100 tackles already, and we're only in round 9. That is really, really impressive.
Added to her tries as well. She's on 14 and 10 is May Campbell this season, but work here for the Saracens forwards to do to try and stop this Bears driving more. They've done it so far all afternoon, but Bears fancy themselves, backing themselves. Burn to floor. Pam. Big handoff and another one as well. Great work from the Bears prop. Here's the other one. Sarah Byrne charging towards the line. Ellis just about brings it down.
Onside, please. Step.
Sarries making sure they're onside. Coming through and disrupting is Georgia Evans. Marley Packer with her hands on the ball, and that's fantastic from the Sarries defence. Step from Harrison. Puts boot to ball. Anywhere will do from a Sarries point of view. And credit them there, because just as Bristol looked like they were going to get their second try, did just enough.
That's how you absorb the pressure. They didn't look rattled at all, and Saracens, Marley Packer took her opportunity, went straight in for the steal when it was on, but it was the defensive effort before that, because when you have the likes of Simi Pan, of Sarah Byrne, carrying relentlessly round the corner, that's pretty danger zone, thinking that they're going to get over the line. So great defence from Saracens there.
Campbell, the former under-20s hooker, and Bears, they're just not competing at the line out there.
Left to right. 6 clearly left the line.
Claire Malloy, the one penalised for leaving the line. See if we can get another replay of that, but the Bears didn't look like they were competing. And Claire Malloy, the one punished. Harrison kicks the ball towards the halfway line, just a couple of metres short of that flag.
So this is the line out, so different tactic from Bristol defensively, so no one is in, so depending where the ball goes, just looking at that, because normally if the ball was blocked and no one was competing, that could be a penalty the other way.
Well, we can, I think either Bears or Saracens maybe spotting a chink in one of the others' armour there. Have a look again. As this is what you missed on the field. Leanne Infante trying to get coming through on her.
Right, really good spot there, mate, with the section.
And the England scrum half now just receiving a bit of treatment. Time called off. After that, seemed to be unstoppable first 10 minutes where we barely could catch a breath. It's been a stop-start past 5 or 6 minutes now.
Yeah, from 26 minutes to 29 has felt like about an hour, whereas the first 10 minutes absolutely flew by. I don't think there was even a break. As you mentioned, then the physicality of the game, we've seen some big hits, we've seen some hard carries, so taking its toll on the players at the minute.
Okay.
A lot of these players, of course, over the next few rounds looking for selection for the Women's Six Nations. All the head coaches of the home unions, I'm sure, keeping a keen eye on what is going on across the Premier 15s. At a game that kicked off earlier in the northeast, Harlequins 34 points to the good against DMP Durham Sharks.
Crunch!
DMP and Wasps still looking for their first wins of the season, bringing the league table, and the latest score from that game at half-time.
They've both lost together for me, symbol. I thought you both went to
Saracens certainly competing more now at scrum time, going backwards in the first year of the afternoon. Ellis, Campbell and Clifford against Pam, Davis and Byrne. Some high quality front rowers packing down at Shaftesbury Park.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Stay high! Stay high!
Really good low scrum from both sides. The legs begin to drive from both. Marston takes it to Bevan. Snowsill on the halfway line. Lovibond from the left to the right wing. Gives it to Grace White. Looks to find a gap in between. Clapp does really well. Back off to Lovibond. Good offloading from the Bears. The two wingers combining well. Inside the 22. Bevan. Dummy to Malloy. Just not quite on the same lathe length. The frustration from Bevan. And eventually that Bristol counter fizzles out.
Saracens again being really stretched in their defence, and Bristol, if they could keep hold of the ball, we really believe they're going to get back into this game. But the original width at which it goes, Lovibond coming from one wing right across to the other. Here I wonder if we could have had a bit of a switch play in instead of going out wide, because you can see the angle of the Saracens defence. Yes, Clapp misses the tackle, but there are three players there. Potentially the switch back inside play might have got them a bit punched further into it. And then I think just a bit of confusion of whether Malloy was the dummy runner or whether she was getting it. She did have her hands up, which she'd always do even as a dummy runner, but it hits her in the shoulder, so not quite sure if that was for her or not.
Great low shot there of the scrum. Pushed back towards Zoe Harrison. Good strike on the ball. Great kick from the Saracens, number 10. When you've got a fly half deep in her own 22 who's able to just almost effortlessly get you towards 5 metres of the halfway line, such a weapon.
Just takes you the pressure off completely if you're fighting and trying to kick out and you're only reaching 10 metres ahead, whereas actually now they can really take the pressure off, although Bristol have other ideas.
Carry from Amber Reid, seen her as a distributor, more of an enforcer on that play. Bevan to Byrne again, looking for that line and combination. Referee says backwards play, allowed to continue.
I'm going there.
Simi Pam. On to Byrne. Bevan to Snowsill. Davis then hit well by Poppy Cleal. Good defensive work from the number 8.
Got the ball for me, 6.
Just that zip and that fizz from Bristol in the opening stages. At the moment,
6, release!
out of their game. Georgia Evans told to release clearly by the referee. Penalised at the breakdown.
Bristol lucky not to lose that, I feel, the phase before. They went for the a one-out runner, and Saracens, if they'd done a bit smarter, I feel, could have been over that ball to steal it. They did well to throw the numbers in to keep it, but need to just make sure they're going in numbers, because as we've seen previously, Saracens are a team that do jackal, and they will look to steal that ball at any opportunity.
Line's yours. 4 to go.
The referee, 4 minutes to go.
Line is yours.
Till the halfway mark.
White on the line. Fuck in the middle. Okay.
Just everything seems to be taking slightly longer in this game now.
6.
Almost couldn't keep up, and the game was flying by in the opening stages. Now very stop starts. Every line out seems to be taking a couple of extra seconds to set.
Ready? Okay, let's go.
Malloy, the taker this time. Thrown up the Irish blindside today. Marston, bit of a spin and a swivel. Steps away from the first tackle. Thought about the offload out the back.
No. Stay.
Bevan back inside. Clever idea, just poor execution. But that has gone forward.
Sorry.
I just feel when you've been frustrated and a couple of balls have gone forward and we've got a few errors, almost play it a little bit safer. I'm never a big fan of that back inside, because generally it's always well defended anyway. You've got all the defenders on their feet. That plus it's a one-hand no-look behind the back. Do they need to put that pressure on themselves? Get it into your centres, who are big, strong carriers, and then set the platform.
Crouch!
With your right.
Bind! Set!
Slight initial shove there from Bristol, you could see it.
3, drop straight to the knee.
And it's actually Sarah Byrne who is penalised. Straight to the knee, the call from Alex Thomas.
Penalty.
And the scrum so far for Bristol has been really good, a really good weapon for them. But that one going against them, giving Saracens that opportunity now. We've seen how dangerous they are whenever they get into that Bristol half. They're really good at executing, so they're going to want to keep them out here.
Just hold a second. Okay, good to go. There's 2 balls on.
It's the Saracen side, of course, settling into their play. Quite a few of their big names not available. Holly Aitchison last week playing a starring role as this driving maul, as the Bears letting it rumble on.
Back foot.
Seems to be a ploy, but I'm not too sure what they're hoping to get out from standing off, because it's not working at the moment as Sarries work it to the far side. Clap. Almost had to take a couple of steps backwards there as she did the handoff.
Here we come, White, leave it touch. She's still on the ball, legally.
Referee allowing the ruck to be competed at, and that competition has allowed Bristol to steal the ball. Closing stages of the first half at Shaftesbury Park. Murray trying to help the ball on. Call is a knock on, so we will end this first 40 minutes with a scrum. Tell you the difference in, we spoke about that possession stat. 76% to the Bristol Bears, 24 for Saracens, so they've had nearly 3/4 of the ball. Saracens have had 72 tackles compared to Bristol. both at the moment winning all of their scrums. Saracens with a chance to end this first half on a high with a scrum inside the Bears 22. That's the best drive at scrum time from Saracens. Infante digs it out from Cleo, clap off her wing, into contact. Packer picking up. The first distributor is Infante, and that is well read from Snowsill, stealing the ball. Time is dead on the clock, so this is the final play. Amber Reid says, that's enough of that. We don't want to run it from our 22 anymore. And she looks to just quickly gather her players who started this first half so well, dominating the champions, rewarded in the 12th minute through Renita Marston's try. But a couple of clinical scores, the first from Jess Breach, her third in Saracens' colours, a brilliant line through the middle, and then Lottie Clapp, the co-captain, a great finish out wide from her, her 49th try in the Premier 15's era. They've had a lot of the ball, they've had a lot of possession, Bristol Bears, but they do trail at the break. Alex Osterbury's side at their clinical best. Simi Pam on her half-century for Bristol, leading the troops back in. They're certainly in this game. It's tight, it's frenetic, and it should be a really enthralling second 40 minutes. Work for both Dave Ward and Alex Osterbury to do, as it is well placed at Shaftesbury Park. It is Bristol Bears 5, Saracens 12. 3 tries in that first half. Let's get some analysis of those. Kat Merchant has headed pitchside to speak to Ashley Wilmot.
Thanks, Nathan. Yes, what a game, Kat. We knew that Bristol Bears wanted to come out firing. That's exactly what they did in the first 10 minutes of the game. What did you make of their start?
Our start was fantastic. They really showed their intent. They wanted to come out, they wanted to play. As Dave Ward had said before the game, they were looking to win this one, and they came out in exactly that style that they're used to playing, running out their 22, getting it really wide. A great start for them.
Of course, they were bruised after that being nil down at Sandy Park against Exeter Chiefs. Not the scoreline that we would expect from a side like Bristol Bears, but they've come out with intent. Saracens, they have adapted well. They are now a wall of Saracens defensively, aren't they? Yeah, they are not letting them have that space. They are that wall across the pitch. They are up there putting those shots in. Lottie Clapp cutting the attack off really well. So Saracens defending well, but it's more their attack. They've been in the 22 twice, and then they come away with scores from it from 2 scrum plays. So really fair play to Saracens stepping up. Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tight battle. Shall we take a look at some of the tries so far? Let's start with the first one. Of course, Bristol Bears getting the first try of the game, really setting the tone. It was Ronita Marston.
Yeah, really good finish from her. So the line out was so used to seeing being so well. Thought maybe Lark Davis would get her hands on the try, but it stopped just short. And then Marston does so well to fight across with her body, because it's still not an easy finish. She's done the pick, but actually has to reach out one arm in order to score it over the line.
Yeah, 12 minutes in after that huge first 10 minutes or so, they capitalised and they managed to get the first score, which is exactly what they deserved after coming out like that.
Yeah, so Saracens initially do well to make sure it stops short, because we have seen so many of them just driven over the line straight off the back of it, but yeah, managed really well. And then yeah, this one from Saracens, I love it. So the dummy play, come across straight through the middle with a gas of Jess Breach. No one's catching her from there, no matter what position you're in. So lovely lines of play, training part move, excellent.
She's just unrivaled for speed, isn't she? And they're best mates, they're teammates, and it really translates onto the pitch, which is great to see.
Yeah, their link play together, so nice. You can see how smooth that goes, the ranging option type of line that we can call it, and through the middle, great play.
Hard to defend, indeed. And then another
score for the reigning champions, Lottie Clapp, and what a handoff as well. I was so impressed by that.
I was talking a lot about this, giving a lot of credit to it's not just the handoff, but being able to stop and go again, because she's accelerated off the handoff, so she's able to go around the outside. But look how quick this ball transfer is. Swaps hand, another handoff, so she's able to get herself further forward, then back into two hands to make the finish. So there's a lot in a short amount of time to talk about in that try. But Lottie Clapp, yeah, fantastic finish there.
And there's only 7 points between them now at half-time. Bristol Bears, they're not trailing behind too far.
No, and I think Saracens will go in being clinical, composed, and they'll know what they've got to do when they come back out. Whereas Bristol just have to take a deeper look, I think, of what they're doing, because the first 10 was fantastic, but I think the balance of when to play and when to kind of keep it a bit closer, a bit tighter, because they are still very much within this game.
Yeah, they are indeed, and we're delighted to be joined by Beth Stafford.
Hi.
Beth, you're watching on the sidelines. What have you made of that first half?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very competitive game, and that's certainly what we wanted. Really pleasing aspects for us, I think, like you said, in the first 10 minutes, like we were right in there and we were very patient with the ball, and I think we probably didn't capitalise with the yellow card as we wanted. But certainly, you know, our possession and our territory, we're playing in the right areas of the field, we just need to kind of pull the trigger.
You know, what was said, you know, this week, especially after the result last week, we did hear Dave Ward in the press conference. He said, you know, the team with the most possession, they got the win last weekend.
Yeah.
Was that, you know, in the game plan, as it were?
Yeah, and we kind of want to make it about us. I mean, we know that Saris are classy operators, and we know that they've got some, you know, great players, and in attack they're dangerous all over the park, but we just want to make it about us and be really patient with the ball, like I said, and attack from different areas.
I mean, the line speed in particular, Kat, I know you and Nathan were talking about it from the Bears at the start of the game. It's hard to defend something like that.
Yeah, the Bears were just ferocious, and they, you know, they showed what they can do in the attack, which is really exciting to see. And I do love a team that offloaded it. And what do you think they're going to come out for the second half? What's the plan for Bristol now, would you say?
I think, like you said, keep getting off the line, keep making those dominant shots. The front foot ball that we're getting, and stopping them getting the front foot ball as well is doing really well, yeah.
What was said ahead of today's game, with Saracens in mind, you said, you know, they're tough opponents. You've never actually beaten Saracens. So were those key players that you were kind of pinpointing today?
I think for us it was more the fact that, you know, we're fifth in the table, they're fourth, we're on the same amount of points. We can go out and make a statement on how we want to finish this league. Like we're getting into the second half. Where do we want to be, and how do we want to finish today?
Yeah, it is about making a statement. Like we say, they're both on 20 points in the league table, because a win could really prove to be telling, especially come the end of the season. It's a top 4 place that these teams want.
Yeah, and you look at the scores for and against as well, and it's really similar as well. So these two teams, and on paper you look at those team sheets, and you know, we were expecting a big performance from both teams, and they've given us that so far in the first half, and I'm expecting nothing short in the second half either.
Saracens, you know, they're fantastic to watch. They always are. They're very ferocious and very loud as well, which can be quite intimidating, because they've got such experienced players on the field, haven't they, Kat?
Yeah, they are loud, and they will try and intimidate, but I think when you've got the likes of Malloy in at Bristol, she'll match that, and she'll be able to ride the storm, so as it was, and come back at them for sure.
And Beth, we know that you're obviously a new signing. You come from Sale. How are you finding being in the Bears camp, as it were?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Settling really nicely, and obviously being full time, I've got that extra time with the staff and the players, so it's been a great lead into the season. It's obviously a bit disappointing that I'm out for the moment, but yeah, still in and around, and it's a great camp to be in.
Making friends?
Yes, just about.
Yeah,
surprising.
Oh no, that's lovely. That's what we like to hear. And I mean, you can just see a team that work well off pitch, how that translates on the pitch. We've got to give a mention to Zoe Harrison and Jess Breach, because like we know that they connect really well off the pitch, and just their link-up play, and seeing Jess Breach get a try like that, it's telling, isn't it?
Yeah, and it does help off the pitch and spending more time together on the pitch as well, getting to know each other, those little intricacies of knowing exactly when they're going to be, that timing, and that makes a big difference between whether that's a clean line break or whether that's a bit of a fight to get through. So they link very nicely together, and it's not for you, it's not nice to see, but for us as the neutrals, it's very nice to see that link play work.
And as a player as well, how important are building those relationships, off the pitch as well?
Yeah, really, really good. And I think, obviously, like you said, Zoe Harrison and Just Breach have it, but we see it ourselves. Rido and Phoebe, they're very close off the pitch, and they really understand each other and the way they like to play. So it's an example for us of how well that works.
So speaking of the second half, it's a confidence with Saracens. If they have confidence, they are so hard to beat. So how do you think how do you think the team and Dave, what he'll be saying and what they'll be aiming to do in the second half?
I don't think he'll be saying to do much different. I think there are some technical points that we can maybe tighten up on, but I think we're nullifying their threats really nicely. We might have been caught a little bit narrow defensively in that first half, but actually it was all us really, and as long as we pull the trigger the next time, we're good to go.
It does feel like there's such good support here, and there's such good morale within the team. Do you think Bears, can come out and potentially, potentially get a win?
Definitely, they that first 10 minutes, if they can harness that energy and then bring it back out again, because Saracens definitely aren't untouchable. We saw Gloucester put 50 points on them, so they have to carry that belief and confidence. What I'd like to see Bristol do though in some areas is playing a bit smarter, because they do play loose, they do love an offload, but actually when you've got Sarries on the cuff, that's the time maybe, let's time in, let's bide our time, because you do have the likes of Reed, Murray, who are fantastic together, and they can draw that defence in so tight to then strike out wide. I think that, the balance then, this game is takeable for them.
And, Beth mentioned capitalising on a card. Poppy Clear getting her second card of the season. It's in those moments that you really have to capitalise.
Yeah, whereas actually what happened was Saracens stepped up, they rallied together as a 14 and 2 tries within that 10-minute period. So, yeah, Bristol will be disappointed. However, Saracens did have most of the ball within that period, so a bit tough for you to be able to then capitalise on it. Yeah.
It does seem to be a possession game, and I also wanted to speak to you about the younger players in your team. Grace White, she's making some great breaks down the wing, isn't she? Just 19 years old.
Yeah, she's class, and she's like that in training. She's always making breaks down the wing, and it's nice to see it translate to games. She is young, but she doesn't play like that. She's a very mature player, and it's really nice to see. I hope she gets on the scoreboard today.
Yeah, it's great to see, the young players performing like that in the Premier 15s. It's just exciting for where rugby can go.
Definitely, and when you've got the likes of the experienced players giving you the confidence, and, Bristol do look to get the ball to Grace White a lot, and that should give her confidence that we're trusting you here. I think they even gave her the ball not in a 2v1, I think it was the other way around. She didn't even have any room, but she still managed to bosh through, work her way hard, get in behind the gain line, so then they could still attack. So I love seeing it personally, a mixture of the young players with the experienced players, and where this league can go is exciting.
Yeah, we've spoken about Bristol Bears. What do you think Saracens need to do to come out and, assert their authority, as it were?
Stay composed, keep their line speed that they've had, that wall that we spoke about. They've just got to keep doing that relentlessly, because given an inch and Bristol will take it. We've seen how dangerous their line out can be, so Saracens' discipline's going to need to be key, and they're going to need to keep it clean, because otherwise, yeah, Bristol are going to get those line outs in, they're going to get their plays, and when you've got the likes of Sarah Byrne and Simi Pam doing really nice hard lines, and Marston as well, very difficult to stop short out.
It's definitely going to be an exciting second half, I can feel it. And just around the corner is Six Nations. Beth, is that a conversation that's had a lot in camp? Are people mindful about, playing their best rugby at the moment?
It's not really a conversation that people speak about, but I think people are mindful about it, and obviously putting their hand up. We've just had a World Cup, and there's going to be a new cycle, so I think people are really keen to stick their hands up for selection, and I think we've definitely got some people who are up for that.
And there will be some eyeballs on these games at the moment, won't there, Kat?
Oh, definitely. And players will start to think about it, even though in the moment you are just thinking about club, and you are thinking, Bristol are trying to beat Surrey, Surrey's are trying to beat Bristol. That's all they're thinking about. But in general, bigger picture, you're wanting your England shirt, your Welsh shirt, your Scottish. They're wanting to compete for their country.
And it is about showing off, showing exactly what you can do in the Premier 15s, getting you know, getting noticed, isn't it? I mean, do the players feel that pressure, or is it just, you know, enjoying your rugby, you're going to do the best?
I think that's the case of it. Is if you're enjoying your rugby, you're going to play better rugby, and that's what's going to go well for you, and that's what's going to make you stand out. So, focusing on club and enjoying it, I think, is the main thing.
Yes, indeed. And also, Beth, we should say congratulations, because of course you were elected as the Bristol Bears rep to be on the Women's Rugby Association Players Board, the new Players Board that they've founded.
Yeah.
You know, what does that role entail, and how excited are you to be, you know, the voice of Bristol Bears?
No, I am very excited. I'm really passionate about this league, and it's very exciting that we actually get a chance to have a say on the way that it's going to look in the coming years with the professionalisation of the game, and going forward, just making sure that the younger players are represented as well.
Yeah, Kat, it is really important, isn't it?
Oh, it's massive, and I think a huge step forward for the game, and having those player voices to really feed in is going to be so important. It's already an amazing league, and we've seen it grow fantastically in terms of coverage, in terms of support, in terms of fans. It's fantastic to see a full crowd here and a really good energy, but having actual voices from the players from each team, huge and brilliant positive step.
Yeah, a really positive step indeed. Now, I did, of course, just mention the Six Nations. Do make sure to get your tickets. We know the men's Six Nations, it's on its way, but the TikTok Women's Six Nations is just around the corner too. So get your tickets and come and join us. Let's take a look at what we can look forward to.
Of Best Stafford with Ashley and Kat at half-time, and those are matches you can watch the Red Roses in Newcastle, Northampton and at Twickenham Stadium in London, of course. Scotland, Italy and France, englandrugby.com/tickets to watch the Red Roses in action. Back here at Shaftesbury Park, Bristol Bears running back onto the field. Saracens already waiting, and Marley Packer, if we can get a shot of her, just chasing referee Alex Thomas down, running onto the pitch as he ran, just trying to get some final messages into him there. So 12-5, this game is poised heading into the second half. A really intriguing first 40 minutes, Bristol dominating on the ball, 75% of the possession, but not on the scoreboard, not when it matters. Ellie Snowsill to get us going in the second half. That one high and looping and allow Bristol to chase with interest, but Packer takes it well. Evans with the first carry of the second half. Harrison, end over end, high kick. Work for White to do, but she's done it well, the Bears flyer.
Not on the ball,
5 tries for her so far this campaign. A 19-year-old really impressing in this Bears backline. Snowsill, Davis, Reed, Lovibond coming into the line, and here's a change at half-time. As Renika Bonner is on, the 18-year-old youngster, just trying to do a scan, and
there's no break now.
Lovibond, it looks like, has gone into the centres with Reed, so Phoebe Murray off, Lovibond to outside centre where she started last week, and Renika Bonner, the 18-year-old, into the Bears' backline. Saracen again allowed to take, allowed to drive, and Bristol not competing until Lark Davis going in. And an advantage on the play from Saracens. Harrison spotting some space, Bevan coming across, knee sliding well. But we're going back for a Saracens penalty. And you'd think, Kat, at half-time, the Bristol coaching staff would have had a word, had a decision to make, but maybe this is a ploy for the game. They're just letting Saracens take the ball.
Yeah, they would have definitely been in there having their conversations around how to compete, or what to do, or how to try and get the referee to have... Oh, there we go.
As Bonner takes the ball, which did not find touch from Harrison. She went for the big touch finder, trying to get Saracens within 5 metres. And Bonner runs it out. We'll get the thoughts of Kat on the line out in just a second, but Bristol, a team who like to run it through deep. Good carry from Marston. Similar to the start we saw Bristol have in the first half, looking to run it from everywhere. Burn into the line, good dummy as well from Lovibon, outside their own 22 now. Davis.
You backed off, no, 8. You backed off.
A stop and a
Ball's exposed.
half somersault there from Clear with the acrobatics. Bevan looking for the power runners, and one of those is Simi Pam. Working the way to the back of the ruck, Marley Packett, you might have heard on the referee mic saying the ball was out. Jess Breach running onto the ball, knocking the ball on, and then with that ball taken forward, Saracens trying to gather. It's the double whammy because an offside penalty to the Bears.
I think Bristol can breathe a sigh of relief there, because Jess Breach at full pelt taking that high ball suddenly is quite a dangerous position that she doesn't manage to keep hold of it, so gives Bristol an in, and they can start to just settle, take a breather, make sure that they're nice and composed in this line out to get themselves back in this game. It is still a close one, it's only 5-12.
Stay back.
Davis, good arrows to find Malloy, straight off the top. Bevan, Reed his first receiver.
Not complete.
Packer brings her down but didn't hold on, so Reed gets to go again. Cleo just trying to get herself out the way. Bevan just made sure the referee knew, so the penalty advantage coming. Carry forward by King. Snow still to Marston. A couple of players outside her, but the direct fruit from the Bears, number 8. Score of the only points for Bristol so far. Simi Pam, the double tackle on the prop. Loses the ball, so we will go back for the penalty from Poppy Cleal, dead centre of the pitch. This would be, for a kicker of Velly Snowseal's quality, you'd think simple 3 points, but she's already looking to the touchline. Bears wanting to keep up this bright start.
It's on me, John.
Interesting decision to go for the corner. If you go for the corner, you want to go for that 5-metre line. You want to make sure it's further up there, or potentially could have gone for 3 points, or even the scrum. The scrum's been going so well for them in general, but they're confident of their line out. They've gone for the corner, they're backing themselves there. They scored off it in the first half, hoping to repeat.
Kick across rather than the kick to the corner. First line out will be reset. Referee wants to see some space, see the gap.
You've got a mark at the front, you stay on it, please.
Kick across, I like that.
On your front player, please.
Not go for the corner, I'm going to go exactly in line with where I am. Let them have a rumble at the pitch first.
Make sure, that's what we said as a kicker, make sure it goes out, because you still do have the throw, as Bristol have done here. And Lark Davis primed and ready to strike at the back. Saracens responding. Packer throwing herself in, and then it's a good counter drive from Saracens. Has that ball got to the floor? No, it hasn't. Great work from the Saris, forward effort. Bristol with the initial drive off the line out, but Saracens responding, throwing bodies in, and they will have to push into the scrum.
They're going to be really disappointed with that. Their first opportunity to strike in this second half, really get themselves into the game. Could have taken the 3 points right in front of the post. I always wonder more about the scrum in that position. I understand when you're a bit further out, when you're wider, go for the line out because you're there, it's an easy kick. You know, but actually scrum, quite difficult to defend centre as well, because they have to split that defence. So shoulda, woulda, coulda though, because if they'd have got that driven line out and they score, then everyone's happy, or, well, Bristol are.
That's when the Allianz Premier 15s. Harlequins 49 points to 5, leading at DMP Durham Sharks, and we're just underway at Twyford Avenue between Wasps and Exeter. We'll bring you those latest scores throughout the afternoon here on BBC Sport, the website and app, and BBC iPlayer, as well as the Premier 15's website. I know a couple of people watching this afternoon have had some audio issues, so apologies for those audio issues. Stick with us. We'll try and get those sorted for you. Penalty to Saracens from that scrum, so the double positive for Saracens. First the turnover from the maul, then the penalty from the set piece. Harrison's kick, that's a good couple of minutes work from the North Londoners.
It's the second penalty as well for knee down in the scrum, so We're going to have a look at that and chat about it, because they are an experienced front row, an experienced pack, and they'll definitely want to fix that, because from going from striking distance from 10, 12, 15 metres out to now suddenly Saracens back in the mix.
And again, Bristol not creating this offside line, so they've gone in and looked to try and steal the ball, but every single line out at the moment, Saracens coming forward. That's an excellent carry from Campbell, but then the offload not quite as good. Bristol have the ball with his hands on the ball is with them. Finally they now get it out. Here is Malloy spreading across. Great step then from Malloy, brilliant work from the Irish blindside flanker. Bevan, Snowsill, the Welsh half-backs combining. Lovibon round the outside, did well to keep it in. Bonner throws it back inside. Who wants the ball on the floor? Bonner is back at it again. Great work from the teenage winger. Bevan looks over the top. That's a very clever kick. Bounces back towards Harrison. Tight angle for the fly half. Gets some distance on it. Keat with the... Well, she did well to gather it, then the backward somersault, and she's done really well to get up, recover, and make some meters. Pam to Marston. Clever soft hands to Byrne. Direct loop, all arms and legs, the England prop. Bevan gives it to King this time. Good couple of phases here from Bristol Bears. Working it to the outside, White onto the ball. And then the steal again from Saracens. So many times, so many opportune moments, Saracens come up with a big defensive play and just completely rip the momentum out of the Bears' attacking framework. Here is Louise McMillan, Fee McIntosh, sorry, I think that was, into the carry. Kick forward. Keat to come on to.
On me. Perfect, thank you. Hey, off the ball.
So frustrating from Bristol again, because they're really starting to get into their phases of play, and then just something not quite right within it. But Saracens doing so well defensively and stealing it, and as soon as they do steal it as well, they take their opportunities.
We're just trying to find a ball to play with. Claire Malloy picking it up. Campbell helping it back to Zoe Harrison.
That line from Malloy, we were talking about how important she was going to be to the team, and just that, she just runs so hard and just so difficult to tackle.
Such experience, 74 caps for Ireland, as well as captaining them. Her second spell, of course, back at Bristol. Summer move from Wasps.
Here she goes, that footwork as well, the ability not just to carry hard, but nice and light on her feet. You can see she fights hard to get that ball away on the floor as well, so she's not just landing where she is and content with that. Make sure her team can use it quickly. Great run from a fantastic player.
As Almeida used a bit of Claire Malloy in the centres, of course, occasionally at Wasps. Back now where it seems a more natural position for her on the flank. This time Bears do compete in the maul, so a change of strategy perhaps when it comes to lineouts. Referee just making sure Saracens go back. Cleel adds her considerable grunt to the driving maul, and that just seems to give some extra momentum inside the 22. Good work from the Sarries pack. Kick over the top from Harrison. Lurking out there is Grant. Jumped slightly forward with her arms out, but it was a good spot from the Saracens number 10 as Marley Packer and Ronita Marston in conversation. Then Poppy Cleo gets a shove, Packer gets a shove, and there's a bit of a pile-in from the two players here, a disagreement off the ball, and frustrations boiling over in what is a tight and tense match.
Amber, take players out. Alright, take players out. Amber, take it away. Time's off.
Time is off, and work for referee Alex Thomas to do here.
Okay, John, just come on. Amber, Amber, just go back a second. So, yeah, time is off. Defence is 8-wide for throwing players, pulling a player out the more, you're saying, yeah? 8 blue, sorry, 8 blue. I've then got 8 blue because I started that with a shove, so the penalty will be against her anyway. And after that, I've got nothing more. So I'm going to stick with the penalty against 8 blue, and I'm going to speak to her now. If you Anything else? Great. Okay, I'm speaking to both captains as well. 7.
Clear and concise from the referee, what he's seen, the images he has seen. There's nearly the 30-player pilot.
We're pulling somebody at the ball, and we're coming back to that anyway. For me, then she's then started it by shoving a player. After that, we've got nothing else. Okay, so we're going to stick with the penalty against your A. Nothing else happens now, please. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hey guys.
Nice and calm from Marley there with Amber. Going, okay, tempers are high, but settle now. Moving on from it.
No more now, please.
A warning for Renita Marston, but nothing more. 15 against 15 it stays.
Line is yours.
And this a chance. Closest chance Saracens have been. Closest either side has been to the try line in the second half. May Campbell, both hands on the ball. Target in the middle is well taken by Fee McIntosh. Here goes the Saracens driving maul. Campbell trying to come back in. It's a second shove from the white shirts of Saracens. Round to the right they go. Players coming through. Just short this time. Poppy Cleal standing over the ball, trying to compete. Blues shirts coming through the way, trying to counter ruck. Saracens go to the left-hand side. A pile of bodies in the way. But the try is scored. Poppy Cleal is having a look at the referee and frustrated. Well, they're walking back to the halfway line. I can actually see the referee's call then. We'll confirm the try in just a second.
Poppy was frustrated because she was at the back of the ruck and players were coming through defensively to her. So it's whether we feel they've come through the gate enough. Now, once they've come through now, that one was more in at the side. But what happens is then the ball is out and then a quick dart over to score.
We've penalised the 8 for 2 offences there.
May Campbell was there.
We've not seen
Marley Packer lurking as well. This should give us the best angle of who managed to get the ball down.
At the same time, straight after that try, she has just pushed Poppy.
Let's have a look. Who finishes this off from Saracens? Who else? Marley Packer from short range, striking. A third try for Saracens. First points of the second half.
And a smart spot from Packer there, because when there is battle over, that breakdown ball becomes then it's out.
Guys, anything?
Picks it, goes over.
John, Ryan, anything, boys?
Harrison with the low stabbed kick. The accurate stabbed kick. Another couple to the Saracens' cause. Leading now 19 points to 5. Let's have a look at this Marley Packer one again. Still very frantic, frenetic from the Bristol defence. They thought they had the counter up, but Marley Packer, poacher extraordinaire, getting her hands on the ball, spotting the half chance, going under Bryony King. Saracens' third of the afternoon. And that's excellent from Sarah McKenna from the restart. Playing number 12 today, very accomplished at both 10 and fullback, and her kicking game coming to the fore there.
Yeah, quiet game so far for McKenna, so nice to see her ball in hands and then be able to execute a kick like that. Really, really nice when you've not just got your fly half able to do it, when you do have some other players in the back line able as well.
That one not straight in the line out. Mentioned Sarah McKenna there, that possession stats slightly nudged up for Saracens now to 27%. The reason maybe you haven't seen her, the Saracens just struggled to have the ball. They've really sort of played on the counter and finished the chances when they have them, but at the moment, the strategy's working.
Yeah, incredible to think 27% and then they're winning 19-5.
That one, nice and straight. Louise McMillan, the Scotland lock, takes it well. And again, this driving maul becoming an ever-growing feature of Saracens' play.
She's the tackle, our second player clutches the ball.
Vivas on for Infante in the past couple of minutes. Straight into the action.
Vivas, another quality player, really brings speed, brings tempo into this game, so she'll be looking to make her mark straight away.
First player goes to the ball.
What a couple of options at scrum half. Saracens have the England number 9, Leanne Infante, and then Ella Vivas was around the England fringes last year in the training squads. A couple of high quality options in at scrum half.
Thank you, okay. We'll see things with you then, Bob. I'm just saying. Okay, on you.
Mentioned pre-game, Bristol still yet to beat Saracens in league action in the Premier 15s. Did win in the Cup early this campaign. That one not straight from Campbell.
It's way out here.
Just having a look at the flags, because we've had a couple of line-outs not go straight, but they're very much still. It's more the thrower accuracy at the moment, just not quite hitting the mark.
Yeah, and again in these areas, just so disappointing when you do the hard work to get down that area of the pitch, and they've been so good so far. Their strike rate in terms of when they have been in the 22 and they've had an opportunity, they've absolutely taken it. So yeah, really disappointing when you don't get to take that.
Yeah, let's go, Saracens.
Look, she's got it in the front player's got the ball, it's absolutely fine. Who's your mark?
Yeah.
Just a lot more of this chats from Amber Reid, just trying to get some clear pictures from the referee of what he is seeing, what he wants to see, and how at the moment her team can try and just get a stranglehold on this game again.
Crouch!
Change of scrum half for the Bears as well. Lucy Burgess now on.
Set! Stay high!
Two 21s on for the two number 9s. Up goes the couple of front rows in the middle, and Bristol on top of that scrum. And that will give that forward effort quite a boost, because Saracens over the past couple of scrum downs have very much been on top, but Bristol there getting one over.
Yeah, Bristol to start with were very dominant in the scrum. Then they had a couple of scrum penalties against them for taking a knee. So to win that one in that moment, in that area, really important for them to be able to now get out. And as you said, they haven't ever beaten Saracens before in a league game. 19-5, not too much on the clock, so they need to do something, and they need to do it now.
Another change for the Bears. Bryony King's afternoon's work is over. Megan Barwick on for her. Sarah Burns, so often we saw her breaking the line, hitting it at pace on those flat balls. Yet to see that in the second half so far. Burgess, bit of work to do. And then on the floor, Holly Phillips knocking on, just not quite clicking at the moment for Bears. The rhythm, the energy, the fluidity they were playing with in the first part of the first half, just really not quite there.
I also think that Saracens have upped their line speed, their pressure in that defence. After that first 10 minutes, they've really created this wall, which is relentless to try and get through. And when you've got that pressure in front of you, it's much harder to play with the freedom and the flair that Bristol enjoy playing with.
Another stoppage here at Shaftesbury Park. Bristol just come together in a huddle as Amber Reid has another conversation with the referee. Full time in the northeast, and a bonus point win for Harlequins. 49 points to 5. They've beaten DMP Durham Sharks.
Bristol, let's go, please.
In West London at Twyford Avenue, Wasps taking on Exeter. So bring you the latest score there. A couple of later games as well, of course, in the Premier 15s. Across the Hartbury, the league leaders hosting Sale Sharks, and the University of Worcester Warriors Women, they're hosting Loughborough Lightning. All of the coverage available on the Premier 15 social channels. Just search Premier 15's Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you follow throughout the week as well. Some of the best tries throughout the week as Harrison lobs one out to Corinne Grant, and space for the Scotland winger to come into. Good recovery from Burgess, tracking across the replacement number 9. Great pace to get across. The number 9 keeping up with the winger.
Oh, you got to take those as a winger when you make a try-saving tackle. It can give such a boost as well to the rest of your team. She's not the biggest in size, but to come across like that confidently, to put the tackle in, because that was ball in space and that was dangerous territory there.
Okay, numbers.
Does of course feature just at number 9, can feature on the wing as well for Bristol, so she's got that natural gas. Still work for their exit to do here as Burns takes a tumble. Difficult one for Delaney Burns, but caused by her own players, says the referee. Bristol just trying to work a position for either Snowsill or Reid, perhaps, to get the kick. Referee says the ball is out. Saracens sniffing the chance to steal, and they have done. 6 metres away. The counter-ruck is good. Packer with the carry. in search of a bonus point try now, the champions.
Onside lines.
Virvas gives it into the middle, and it's
Home advantage, 21 offside.
the hard carries from the forwards. Clifford looking to roll around now. Virvas to Harrison, steps back inside. Bristol defence covers the Sarries 10.
Onside set. Okay.
Short range, keeping it with the forwards, driving towards the line. Packer is lurking again.
Hands off your hands.
What have Bristol got here in defence? Saracens round to the left-hand side. Poppy Clear looking to stretch. Half celebrations. Referee has a look and he awards a try. Great work from the Saracens pack.
Okay, thank you.
Poppy Clear picked up off the floor.
Can't hear me.
Has a word with the referee. I think maybe a couple of bits of afters, but the smile is Poppy Clear's.
John.
The counter-ruck initially from Saracens, so close to the Bristol line, and they have a bonus point score.
And they did it legally as well, was the important thing. They read when it was out, they came round, they put the pressure on. Marley Packer, as you said, loitering around here, first of all, thinking maybe she might get a second to add to her tally.
Yeah, there was an advantage there. I will deal with it when I need to speak to them, but there was an advantage.
Held up till slightly short from the line, but Cleo really smart there as well. Not just if she just dived initially for the score, I think she'd have been held up, but she almost rolls the opposite way, rolls in, gets the other arm down to make sure she scores it.
Under pressure from Delaney Burns and always facing backwards there. Really clever work from the England forward. Harrison looking to add a couple more, which she does. Apart from that second strike, the second conversion, she's looked very, very assured throughout the afternoon.
An initial carry from Packer there. Caught down short from Pam, but then it's that roll from Cleo. I actually thought she might have had it in her right hands to get across, but manages to get it in onto the left so she can get it over.
The cheer you've just heard was Simi Pam just trying to get the crowd going. Long way back for the Bears here. They've got just under 20 minutes to try and get themselves back into this game. Harrison again with the quality from the boots inside her own 22, gets her side to the halfway line.
Ends the line. Ends the line. Ends the line.
You can hear the crowd, the energy. Simi Pam's done her work to get everybody gearing up and supporting this Bristol side today.
Boom, step. There we go.
5 in this line out for the Bears. Burns coming in. Georgia Evans with a left hand does brilliantly to get a paw to that. McMillan then with the carry forward. Campbell here. Diminutive in stature, but such a hard carrier, and more often than not makes herself over the gain line. Harrison, now Saracens looking to distribute it. McKenna with the nudge forward. There was a hand in there from the Bears. They've recovered well. Just need to try and get the ball to ground now. White places it for Burgess. She spots a gap down the line, and there's the kick forward.
Yeah, nice little box from Burgess there to just get them ticking along the pitch, get the pressure away from them, because they need to get into this game as soon as they can, because they're letting it start to slip away from them.
Thanks.
This time the taker is the number 4, Fee McIntosh, and this strategy from Saracens, well, it's not really a strategy, is it? Because they're just being allowed to come through when it comes to driving mauls. Cleo, that's clever, back inside to Clapp. Rode the tackle well. Here's McKenna, good footwork from the inside centre today, and does well with the strength to
Thank you.
keep Simi Pam's attentions away. Campbell loses the ball in contact this time, and now Bears with possession. Some space here down the blind, so if they can try and work it. Lovibond on the wraparound. Bonner just had to step back in there.
Release! Advantage over.
Simi Pam, capable of the spectacular from deep.
Don't hold her in.
The change for Bristol. A frame of Lucy Skews on there. Great take from Sarah Byrne. Can she try and break the line? Not when Marley Packer's about. Heard a word from the Bristol coaching staff, tempo, tempo. That game plan that was so effective in the opening exchanges, they want to see more of that. Here is Skuse to Reed. Bit of space on the outside now. Lovibond just couldn't free her hands to give it to the on-rushing Keat. Phillips now.
You got the ball, got the ball.
Referee says the ball was taken legally. Virvas
Hold the mark.
with Bristol on the attack. There's space in behind. Just a bit too much on that from Virvas. Dribbles away. Keat will place it down.
And was potentially on to play that. I understand on a turnover kicking it because the back three are going to be out of place, but also there wasn't that defence on the blind side, so potentially missed an opportunity there to attack it, ball in hand.
And you've got Fisher, come on as well. Time's off.
This is the hit on Amber with the timing, was it? Oh no, this is a handling. This is great, fantastic. We've seen Byrne all day run those hard out to inlines. Also that link play, that was a difficult one to take as well, out in front, single hand to be able to pull it in and really get in those widths. But having a prop that's running in your 10-metre channels and handling and a real threat just really adds to your depth of attack.
Currently, 3 Saracens players just receiving a bit of treatment. Poppy Cleal, Alex Ellis and Georgia Evans, as we see it again here. The take from Sarah Byrne, so skillful.
It's okay, time's off.
Marley Packer not letting her through that outside channel. Still time off here. Poppy Cleal with some running repairs.
Poppy.
Physios and medics make their way off the pitch.
Wait. Stay behind.
Stadium announcer just trying to get a bit of life and energy
Get on them, yeah.
into this crowd.
Who's going up? 1 and 3.
Couple of new props for the Bears. Quinn Pears and Ellie Mulhern
Go behind and go a long way, please.
on for Simi Pam and Sarah Byrne.
Stands on.
Sarah McKenna lining up a drop kick from the restart. Hits the post. Goes over. That's superb from Sarah McKenna. As soon as she took the ball, lined it up. The quality, the execution, absolutely fantastic from the Saris inside centre.
We said before the game she had flair, we said she was loose, and she is. She reads the game in a different way to everybody else, and it's really paid off for them there. You just don't even think of that, and she's just done it, and not only that, executed, gets the points. Fantastic.
Such a clever piece of play, not huge distance on the kick, and Sarah McKenna, you could see right from taking that return, only had one thing in her mind, and added a bit more spectacular with the bounce, hitting the crossbar,
Backwards off White.
and then bouncing over.
Release them. Left on.
Approaching the last 10 minutes, and now 24 points the difference between the Bears and Saracens. Let's have a look at this again from McKenna.
Outrageous, just so wide as well off it. It's not like she's in front and received it, but the decision to make that, so much confidence, execution as well. Fantastic, really got to say, brave, great decision, great execution, and sometimes just thinking outside the box and doing something different can really pay off.
For any football fans watching, appreciating the goal comes off the underside of the crossbar when it bounces and ricochets up. I think that must be the equivalent in rugby, that it hits the crossbar and then bounces over. Don't see too many drop goals in the Premier 15s.
You've both gone straight
let
across the
alone
field, no fear going forward.
anything going through the sticks and bouncing off the top of the post.
He's going forward to both
Especially
sides.
from that wide as well. It did pause as well for quite a long time on the post. That's going to stay there for a second, but rolled over, built the suspense as well.
Change for Saracens. Marley Packer's work this afternoon is done. Sharifa Casolo on as an open side. Really impressed in the number 7 shirt, whilst Marley and the Red Roses in World Cup action down in New Zealand.
Bind!
Free kick given immediately to the Bears for the bind at the scrum. Burgess keen to get on with it. Courtney Key, a spin and a swivel. Did catch it with one hand, but then ripped by Saracens as she tried to gather it back in.
Okay, here it goes.
Big celebrations
I think that's pretty nicely.
on the Bears bench there, not too far away from the action. At the moment, the home fans that have come in to Shaftesbury Park in the West Country region not had too much to shout about since that Renita Marston try.
What was it, right? You're bind.
Davis looking towards the back.
Closing the gap first, clearly off the mark.
Again, not getting her arrows straight, but Saracens,
Closing the gap.
could have been because they were closing the gap, as you can hear. Just a free kick.
Straight for fans, closing the gap. Free kick.
Good tap from Burgess, looking to play the ball, looking to add the energy. Marston, Reed, flat, looking for the replacement. Megan Barwick coming onto the ball. Here is Gwen Pears, the Welsh prop. Burgess looking for Lark Davis, standing wide at first receiver. Burgess across the pitch, looking for Phillips. Offload before she was hit is Mulhern. Skews now, runners to her outside. Reed flat, looking for White on the far side. Gets up and goes again, not held in the tackle. Been a lively presence out wide all afternoon has Grace White. Again, it's the soft hands at first receiver, this time Burns. Onto Malloy. Burgess now looking for options. Carrying it hard is Pears. This is better from Bristol, bit of momentum. She let the ball go and got back up, says the referee. Out the back of the legs. This is good work from the Bears. Through the hands now. Reed takes it direct up against her opposite number, McKenna. Then the penalty coming, rolling on the floor. One extra roll is the call.
You've rolled to Jaffa.
And that arguably the best bit of phase play Bristol put together in the second half, coming to nothing.
Really nice bit of phase play, and Amber Reed, you've got to say, has played outstandingly today, I think, for her side. She's really got the ball. That ball to Grace White was so flat, so on point, that hitting onto it was great. Got done for the extra roll there. If she hadn't have rolled, to be fair, she was going to get done for holding on. So 2 players in quickly onto her. So Harrison is going to steal it. So Amber buys her time as the extra roll, but penalty against.
6:14 and 2 coming to you.
In closing stages, benches beginning to be unloaded. Fresh faces coming on for both sides into the final 10 minutes. And
Okay, stay 2-2.
it will be Jodie Retty's first bit of action to throw into the line. Successfully going to Fee McIntosh. DeCleal running it straight and hard, not rolling away now, the penalty.
Come here.
Vivas had a look up.
You got blood put in your head. Yes, get it white. Yeah, of course.
Like Davis there. The referee telling her she had blood pouring from her head. She said, I know. But they didn't quite pick that up on the mic.
But also as well, normally when a ref says come here, it's because they're going to march her back another 10, and when I was looking and saw it was Lark, I was like, no, surely not. Oh no, just you're bleeding.
That was my first thought as well. I thought she was in trouble and she didn't want to have a conversation with him, but she didn't want to stop the play. Such a warrior, Lark Davis.
Banging on the arm.
I'm binding on the arm? Oh.
bit more treatment in what has been a stop-start second half. Saracens securing the bonus point with Poppy Cleal's try. You've got to say now in the closing minutes that we are only in losing bonus point territory for Bristol, but they've struggled to get their game together in this second 40 as Lark Davis comes off, and a few more replacements for Bristol. Jess Sprague coming on for her.
Okay, then go someone.
Claire Malloy also going off. I think it was Alice Lockwood who's come on for her. Harrison again lining it up, so direct and accurate with those kicks.
Just allows the team to build in confidence as well when you do win penalties, knowing that you've got a player that can put you into the right areas of the pitch to be able to play and do the strike moves.
Retty again hitting her mark, and again hitting Fee McIntosh. Saracens in search of a fifth. They have a penalty advantage. Vivas directing things from the back of this maul. Harrison looking across the pitch. Lottie Clapp is out there. She comes through. Keek just packs it forward. We're going to go back.
Yeah, nice option for the crossfield there. Lottie Clapp's got a good angle on it as well. Really important that out to in. They tried it previously as well and got called back because they had the advantage.
Mark shot there. Amber. No more penalties in maul now. Too many.
Too many penalties for the referee. We're in yellow card territory. Formation of Alice Lockwood replacing Claire Malloy. Kick to touch means Saracens are 7 metres away from the try line as they head in search of a fifth score. Micah Gooding on now to the Saracens forward effort.
Who's off, please?
Mackenzie Carson off. Gooding on. So Kelsey Clifford is the one heading off. Mackenzie Carson, of course, went off in the first half for Alex Ellis. Here is the driving maul from Saracens. Retty with her hands on it. Bristol initially stopping the maul. Call his own player, still in striking distance. Another penalty coming for Saracens. So close to a fifth. Towards the try line they go again. Referee having a look. The try is awarded. A superb second half performance from Saracens here. A fifth try for them, and it's the replacement, Sharifa Casolo. 4th try this season for her. And Sarries getting the job done in the West Country.
They were playing with the advantage as well, a penalty advantage from Marston coming round, so they knew that they could go through the phases and get over, but that probably wasn't even in their mind, to be honest, because once they are that close to the try line, they just think of nothing else but scoring. But they work together, they make sure they have numbers, they time it well, and good body positioning as well to go low, because there would have been quite easy to be held up because she's still quite a little bit further out and got 2 players on her, but she gets the second leg drive that's important, and then even still plays short, but as she lands she's allowed to presents it forward to score.
Zoe Harrison lining up a 5th of the afternoon. Excellent display off the tee and out of hand from the England number 10, and another one as well, dead straight from our commentary position. We could see that 4 from 5, another couple. Sarries move on to 36 points.
So you've got Zoe Harrison slotting them all over the place. You've got Sarah McKenna pulling out drop kicks from your 5-metre line. I mean, this Saracens team's pretty dangerous.
The sign of champions this afternoon rode the early Bristol Bears waves of attack. 2 scores out of nothing, and then they've just really ramped it up in the second half. They've nilled the Bears, scored 3 tries, that McKenna drop goal as well. A really impressive afternoon's work for Alex Osterbury as Grace Moore offloads to Ellis. Back with the pick and go from the back of the ruck. Harrison, dink over the top into some space. Difficult bouncing ball for Bonner. Burgess to deal with. Burgess goes the long way round, looks to try and set. This is good work from the number 9, and Bears on the counter. Lovibond pins her ears back. Outside is Grace White. What has she got here? Cross comes Harrison on the cover. Enough white shirts there just to stop the Bears' momentum. Consolation score looking for in the West Country. Again, still looking to play.
Knock on advantage.
Hit in the middle was Alice Lockwood. Again, just that final play, the clinical nature, just not quite there this afternoon for Bristol.
No, not quite sticking, but Lovibond again, I think Reed's had a good game. Lovibond's been fantastic. Every time she's touched the ball, she's made meters, and not just that, her link play as well off of it has been really, really good. But it's just the last pass, or it's the pass not quite being exactly where you want. She's taking it a little bit high there, gets hit. Very difficult afternoon for Bristol, supporters watching, because it's almost there, and there's exciting moments, but it's just not quite finished.
And here we go, the Allianz Premier 15's player of the match. I was going to ask Kat to announce it, but it's already come up for you, Kat. She's on screen.
Yeah, so Zoe Harrison for me, she's played really well. The whole Saracens team has come together well, but I think whenever you're scoring like that, a lot of the time it's down to your fly half, but also just her kick in today has been fantastic and on point.
We'll get a word with the England number 10 post-match. Her thoughts on this Saracens performance, as well as her individual one. Right back into league action. And this is what Simon Middleton, the England head coach, will want to see. His players and England available players being part of an effort where they're really impressing their personality, their skill and their dominance on the league, and Zoe Harrison certainly has done that this afternoon. The replacement for Saracens, Flo Williams on. Sydney Gregson off.
Bind!
She's lining up at inside centre, stood very close to Zoe Harrison at the moment. Hyla Alejandro also on for the champions. Williams now the taker. McKenna. Harrison with the dummy.
Onside. So play it back.
Well, the call obviously must have come from Ella Veerbass. I think she thought that was going to be full time because she just booted it out. But we will go back for the penalty advantage. We've still got some time on the clock.
That's last play. That's why she kicked the ball, I think, but I'm still playing advantage. That's why I need to come across.
Confirmation for the referee. The penalty advantage. I don't think he was too happy there was a penalty advantage, because with the penalty, of course, we keep going.
Last play, yeah.
I like that. I assume that's why she kicked it out. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and I think that's why she did it, because they were playing with the penalty advantage. But even if not, I mean, 36-5, they've got the bonus point try, even if you just want to put it out.
Harrison looks down the line and just about gets it, and so from the penalty, of course, we will have the line out. So Saracens had the option, could have just kicked it up to themselves and booted it out for full time, fancying themselves a 6th score. Not too dissimilar position from where Sharifa Kasola went over last time, and here she is again spinning out the back, but it was the dummy play, and Veerbass down the blind side. Kasola again right into the action, high body position, looking round the fringes. This is where Saracens get so many scores, so many poachers' efforts. They go to the try line again, the referee having a hard look at it. Is this a 6th and final score? Let's hear what he has to say.
And I've got players also around her, so no fear around her. Girls, come on, boy first. Girls, no, leave her. Come away. Come away. Come away. Okay, thank you. So, no clear ground in.
And And that is full time, the final play of the game. Speaking with his assistant referee, Alex Thomas, brings the afternoon's activities to an end, and it's been a really impressive afternoon for Saracens. The bonus point win in the West Country, they continue their 100% record over Bristol Bears in the Allianz Premier 15s. The Bears